Hello and welcome back to Sport Today with me, Tulson Tollett. Well, there are 22 days till the start of the Paralympics in Rio and there are problems afoot for the organisers. It was revealed on Monday funding that should have been set aside for countries to take their athletes to Rio has already been spent on the Olympic Games. Instead, it's put an awful lot of pressure on the organisers, one of whom is Craig Spence, the Director of Communications at the IPC.
It's been a very difficult last 2 weeks for us since we found out that Rio had the financial issues. I mean, our priority now is obviously to try and find the additional funding to plug the hole in the gap that they've got. We want to start by getting the travel grants for all the countries, because at the moment there's a threat that some of the countries might not be even able to afford to get to Rio. And hopefully once we get the athletes there, then we can put on the show that the athletes deserve.
I believe the Rio Mayor, Edward Paes, has given assurances to Sir Philip Craven and the IPC board that the money will be available and assurances have been given. Yeah,
we met the Mayor yesterday morning. He's a huge advocate of the Paralympic Games and what they can do for his city, and he's committed to 150 million Brazilian reals. The problem we have at the moment is we can't access that funding because currently there's an injunction that prohibits any further public funding going into the Organising Committee unless they make their accounts public. So what we've urged the Organising Committee to do overnight is to make those accounts public so that we can start benefiting from that money. And as soon as we get that money, we can start providing the travel grants to the countries so they can get to the Games.
You mentioned there about the countries being affected. We've heard stories about 50 countries being affected. Could it possibly be more than that?
Well, we're trying to limit it at the moment. We've got probably 10 who are really in jeopardy at the moment. So we're working with them to try to provide them money before the grants get to them. But it could be as many as 1 in 3 countries may not be able to get to the Games. And the countries most likely affected are the smaller nations who send 1 or 2 athletes, the likes of Africa, some countries in Asia and some countries in the Americas. But we want all 165 countries to get to the Games because that's what the athletes deserve. They've been training for 4 years for this event, and it's only right that to win a Paralympic gold, they beat the best athletes from around the world.
From an IPC point of view, how difficult is this and how does it impact logistically on your operation?
It's impacting us massively. We've been planning for this event for 7 years, and now we're having to effectively shred all those plans and come up with new plans 22 days out from the Games. So we're having to be pretty flexible. We don't want to. One thing we've always said is no matter what the cuts, we always want to protect the athlete experience. But unfortunately, if no extra funding becomes available, then we may have to make cuts to the athlete experience. And that might be things like reducing the frequency of buses, changing the food that's available in the athlete village. It's not ideal 22 days out from a Paralympic